My daughter will soon be 13. This egg will soon dry. My dear, I have given myself, if I give her reach 38, I know one born again. If I have power, and I say that I need a man.
Oh my goodness. Bbnaija star girls, you guys will not kill me. Oh my goodness, like that was a lot to take in. That was a lot to take in, guys. If you have not really listened or heard the conversation, the roundtable conversation that Ebuka had with the Bbnaija star girls. I'm not gonna call them, it's not a season, but I mean from Sigobe to the Shine Your Eye season, guys, the hottest girls. I'm not the hottest girls now. Let's just say I think the only people that were not available for this was the Shine Your Eye. But guys, it was literally a very interesting conversation that Ebuka had with these girls. And one thing I must say was some people blew my mind away.
Different. Sometimes I play like how Bisola is playing in my stories, and I'm like, oh, like I can't wait to do this with like somebody's song. I'm giving clues. Don't think I'm joking.
To life. I mean, listening to this lady's talk, I'm like, personalities they share for this Bbnaija show. I mean, apart from Grandma now, I mean, you guys know Bisola. Bisola is a large personality. I loved her from the bottom of my heart. From her clean face to her clean talk, she got me. But guys, who else noticed how grown Tasha spoke? Like, guys, all those women have literally moved from whatever level they were before to like 100 plus. And I'm super excited about their journey so far. It's been just ridiculous listening to them. I love the content they have. They shared some very sincere truth about their journey. And I'm here to just share some lights about the things that they shared on the roundtable conversation with Ebuka. If you're in for it, of course, I'm bringing in the sauce as usual. I'm going to be giving you the run through of what actually had the conversations that transpired with the girls of the past Bbnaija seasons so far. So we actually had 5 different seasons on the table, and literally, guys, it was mind-blowing listening to every of them. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Personality Highlights with Julie here. We actually talk about undiluted analysis right here, and I really love to talk about things like this because it kind of helps me throw highlights on people's personalities, disorders, potentials, greatness, guys, I literally talk about everything in my channel here. And so sometimes when I talk about some of these people, and if they're your faves and you feel offended, I'm sorry, but it's my job. I need to do my job. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, this particular episode, I have the links of the full video. If you want to watch that, you probably head over to Bounce Radio TV. It was literally a mind-blowing experience. But guys, we had very interesting personalities on Ceece. We had Alex, we had we had Tasha, we had Mercy, we had Dorothy, we had Erica, we had, who else did we have? Of course, we had T-Boss. We had we had the phenomenal people that all those people that were seated on this, all those ladies that were seated on the table really had like huge like presence. These guys have like the highest following because of their personalities, being in the Big Brother show. If you listen to that interview, if you really watch it, if you took your time to listen to it, what did they really talk about that really got to you? For me, there were so many conversations that we had, but the ones that got to me the most, I'm not gonna lie, was hearing Bisola talk about her eggs. Bisola literally was just pitching her tent to any available guy out there that, hey, you know what, brotherly, I'm available, I'm ready to settle down. They were talking about independency, their growth in their journey, and Alex shared that, she used to have this thought of if she was 25 and she hadn't made it in life, that she'd probably want to die, because she felt like she needed to be very independent and she needed to help herself. And Mercy was saying something very interesting. Mercy was like, some people make it at 40, and I really like the fact that this is people coming to the show with some kind of mindset, and the show kind of helps them transitions them to a better person. Guys, a lot of conversations were had, but the ones that interested me the most was when they talked about personalities, when they talked about strategies, when they talked about the fun fights. I mean, these are conversations you and I need to have. I mean, Ceece also was very, very. I mean, I was looking at Ceece like, okay, babe is so grown. She's so grown. But Tasha, before even going to Ceece's conversation, I mean, Tasha, no way. Tasha stole a lot of the spotlight. I love the fact that she has always been opinionated, right? But I love the fact that Tasha was one of those people who knew that she needed to come into the house with a strategy. She knew she had something to sell. She knew she had a brand to build. She knew she needed to make money with or without the show. And that is something that most of the BB housemates that are coming to the show really need to understand. Like Tasha, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If that fight did not happen between Mercy and Tasha, Tasha probably would have been the winner of that. Like, I don't know, but Tasha, I don't know. She's so grown. She's so grown. She's so grown. Like, the things I heard her say made me look at her like, in fact, she even said she would like to have a baby. After Bisola said something about having a kid that was already 13 and she wanted to get married and be settled already. She was 36 or 38, something like that. It was just mind-blowing conversations. And one of the conversations that they really talked about was relationships. You guys know that I love to talk about relationships in this channel. So they talked about relationships a lot, and they were like, you know what, the relationships that we're having these days, the guys are not really coming, our ratios are dropping. Ebuka asked those sensitive questions and they were giving back the response. They're like, the ratios are dropping. And Ceece was like, are you sure your standards are not too high? And Alex is still maintaining that power girl vibe of, you know what, yeah, my standards needs to be high. And Bisola broke the camel's back by saying, you know what, I'm tired of being independent. I am ready to fall under the dependency ratio. But it was just cool to hear these women share. It was just cool to see that there was no beef among any of these ladies. It was so cool to see that like Alex and Ceece did not have a problem. It was cool to see that Tasha and Mercy were flowing. It was cool to see that Erica and Dorothy, even though like they were having conversation, meaningful. It was cool to see that T-Boss and like there was no beef. Like these guys are literally on speaking terms, friendship level. Like they have something going on. They have a bond, and I think Ebuka literally had to create this roundtable conversation just for the fans to pipe down, to cool down, to calm down, and be like, you guys, stop instigating this war. So a lot of things were said, and one of the questions, there's always this comparison of which season was the best. Was it Sigobe? Was it Double Wahala? Was it Pepper Them? Was it Lockdown? And they asked, Bisola said, what, she likes her season. They asked Alex was like, she likes Bisola's season, and then there was this conversation, and then there was this comparison, and the comparison was, why does Sigobe look like the only season that was really different from the other seasons, like the Shiny Eye and the rest of it? And literally, guys, Ebuka made a lot of interesting like facts. He said a lot of facts, and one of the things Ebuka said was this.
Like I've always said, what the show was with Sigobe is a completely different show now with Shine Your Eye. Even if you brought these same people in there now, because of the way the show is, they would probably act differently.
Literally, Ebuka was like, the reason why this thing is happening is Sigobe was like the first. There was no template. Nobody knew how to do or what to behave. People were just being themselves. They were being real. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that season we had a lot of, they were very real. We were very authentic. We like Bisola till now is still the same person she is. I mean, and basically, I think if we can watch this show and understand, because basically the roundtable conversation with the females, we got to understand that the role of the fans, the role of having a strategy, the role of branding, the role of how to cash out if you're probably, looking at joining the Big Brother show. I mean, the strategies, everything was just in deep, and I really loved it. Now, one of the things that Tasha was always saying was, you know what, this season is going to come and go, controversies will come and go, but guys, you can't deal with not sharing your own content. You have to have content, even when you're on the show. And Ceece was like, you know what, we cannot leave this fan war. If you need to cash out from the fan war, be a part of it. And then there was this conversation, there was this argument. Bisola was like, popularity is what makes the fans come. Fans like controversies. Controversies bring the popularity. And I'm like, okay, this is probably where people started dragging their narratives from, because from the Sigobe, we literally saw that Bisola and T-Boss like were fighting, so basically I felt like that was the template people started using, to share or to start strategizing in the house. We actually saw that it wasn't that Ceece was that girl who was just looking for who to look for trouble. It was just her personality. She was just I'm gonna give it hot to you if you bring it to me. So it was more like Sigobe set the template for what the other BB housemates have been using over the years. I mean, guys, what do you literally think about what Ebuka said? Because Ebuka was like, you know what? The truth is that if the Sigobe housemates are actually going to be in the next Big Brother season, they are definitely going to be acting differently. They're going to use templates. They're going to be more strategic. And I'm like, yes, why not? The money is there. More money, more strategy. But guys, it was just literally very interesting to hear these women talk, share about their lives, talk about their struggle. Tasha even said, in fact, Tasha was giving dating tips to guys that want to woo her. She was like, you know what? When I'm saying this is the kind of guy I like, this, I'm giving you tips on how to come. Stop acting like we are not available. We are available. And I like that part about them. It was just a mind-blowing conversation. Everybody, the girls were literally vibing. Everybody was physically grandma, and then we had the babies in the house. I mean, looking at somebody like Dorothy that was born in 1995, and looking at Ebuka that left the show in 1996, 2006, I'm like, now wow, Dorothy was probably 10 or 9 years old when some of these people were leaving the show. So it was just all round strategizing. So here's one of the things I think we need to be taking home, right? If you are thinking of coming into the Big Brother show or going for the Big Brother show, you have to understand borrow the sense that these women have shared in this podcast, and see how, if probably you have the opportunity to be in the house, you probably exercise those things. People like Ceece have said, you know what, your head is going to be filled with a lot of rubbish. When you get out, people are going to fill it with a lot of rubbish. If you don't need to have a fan, like a war between you and a housemate, you don't need to have it. Like, this fans will be all right last, because the truth is that fans want to see war. That is what brings the popularity. That's what brings the controversies. If there are no controversies, there might not be popularity. Like, literally every single season there is a reason why somebody becomes controversial. I mean, for Ceece and Alex, it was Toby's, like, the man in between that was just bringing the controversies. So there's always this controversy. For T-Boss, it was more like, this one, they are broad phonetics, and with Bisola, the local breed. It was more like that was the controversy around them. With Dorothy, there was not really nothing with Dorothy and Erica, but with Dorothy, there was actually a narrative with the Nengi thing and the Ozo thing. So, I mean, basically, there's always this drama that's going to come in the house, but it's actually your ability. And I'm not going to lie, anybody who's getting to the Big Brother show without having a strategy, sorry, is your name. I literally had fun listening to all these women. They were so matured. I'm like, oh my God, how did they just get so grown already? I mean, guys, what was the highest things you heard, listening to those women? I literally felt like one of the best things I heard was when I heard Ebuka say this. Ebuka was like, the reason why he had to do this was to make sure that he helped people understand that these guys are cool with themselves. In there to like bring it out that these people are not toxic. They can have conversations. They are nice people. They are cool people. I think Ebuka was just trying to tell the public, like, calm down. These guys are in control. There's no toxic relationship anywhere. You guys are just making these things up, and they are not true. And I think I loved it. I mean, kudos to them. For them, we literally heard all about strategies, how you need to be very intentional about your strategy, how you need to work with, how you need to play with your 1 year, because if you don't play with your 1 year, the money might be lost, and it was just fun listening to them. I mean, guys, literally after the ladies, we had the guys, and the guys version had more of the gossips handled. Like, seriously, I'm not gonna lie. The guys dissected the gossip in a very loud and interesting manner, and I'm definitely going to be talking about that in my next video. Guys, if you have something that caught your attention in this conversation, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm going to see you guys in my next video. For now, thank you so much for your watch time. So I see you next time. It's still Julie, keeping it real as usual. Ciao, ciao, guys.